All right, I've got Kate here with me. Thanks so much for joining in with us. Welcome, Kate.
Hey, Natalie. It's so good to be here with you in person. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We're really excited to have Natalie share a really fresh and light meal for summertime. As she mentioned, if you'd like to cook along with us, feel free. And if you'd like to open up that chat box and type in any questions as we go along, we love answering questions as we go. So if you've got food and nutrition questions, type those in the comment box, and I'll let you go ahead and get started, Natalie.
Yes, awesome. Great, thanks, Kate. So today we're going to be making a jerk chicken with pineapple green beans and serving that over top of a watermelon salad. So really fresh, really light, really easy meal to make. We're just going to need like one pan, and everything else is going to be pretty simple to assemble. So I already have my chicken breasts. I've rinsed them and have them ready to go. The recipe starts by slicing these in half. We want a nice thin piece of chicken that's going to give us that really great sear. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut. Feel free to come over and cut with me. So when I'm doing this, typically I want to use a really nice sharp knife, and then I am just going to go down the chicken breast lengthwise. If you leave it attached, it would be called butterflying, but since we're going to go ahead and cut that into two nice thin sections, and then we'll start with our seasoning and our cooking. I'm so glad to have you all here. I always love getting to cook with you and getting to share some fun recipes. A really nice chicken as well as a fresh flavorful salad is probably one of my favorite things to do during the summer, during the heat, when I want something that's like fresh but also still very filling. All right, so I've got my chicken breast cut in thin segments, and I'm gonna just return them to the bowl and we'll get them seasoned up. So I don't know if anyone has checked out my Amazon shopping list for kitchen essentials, but these flexible cutting mats are probably one of my favorite things to use because we just cut chicken on it and we will not be cutting anything else. I can go ahead and set this cutting board aside, give it a rinse, wash my hands, and then I have a contamination-free kitchen. All right. So now that we've got our chicken breast sliced thinly, I am going to go ahead and add in our seasoning and dry ingredients. So here I have 2 tablespoons of onion, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, and we're going to zest and juice 1 lime, and then we're going to add in 1/4 a cup of pineapple juice as well as honey and the coconut aminos. So I'm going to go ahead and dump in the dry ingredients. And then I'm going to come over here and add in that zest of lime, the coconut aminos, and the honey. Who all's cooking with me today? Recording in progress. So the great thing about jerk chicken recipes is they're very versatile. And with this lime, you're going to get a nice brightness with the chicken. And the little bit of honey and coconut aminos is going to give the depth and the sweetness to the recipe. So we'll go ahead and zest this lime. And then, some of you may already know from cooking with me in the past, but a great way to prepare fruit for juicing is to use the palm of your hand and to give it a nice roll. Then we're simply going to cut it in half. And then grab our juicer. So you always want to juice with the skin side up. All right. I'll toss that to the side and do the other half. And we'll go ahead and add in our 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice. I went ahead and sliced fresh pineapple and then set the juice aside. Whatever juice I don't use in today's recipe, I'll just add back into the fresh cut pineapple so it stays nice and hydrated. But we'll add in the pineapple juice. This is tamarind and it is gluten-free. So I went with the low sodium option. It typically has that really nice, robust flavor, just like a traditional soy sauce, but is obviously a healthier, lighter version, and it's good for people with gluten sensitivities. This recipe doesn't call for much, and a little goes a long way. Now for the honey, I think we are calling for 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna eyeball that so that I do not have to scrape it out of the little measuring cups. It's not an exact science. Sometimes cooking is just based on feel and love. So little honey. All right. Now I'm going to give this a really great stir. Of course, if you wanted to go ahead and do this ahead of time, you could definitely marinate your chicken overnight in a airtight container with all of these seasonings. You're going to get a really nice flavor. This jerk chicken is a great recipe. It's not super heavy on the jerk seasoning, so it's not going to be overpowering. A lot of people, when you say the word jerk chicken or Jamaican style chicken, they get a little scared. So this is still pretty light. It would be also a great option for grilling, but you're going to get a nice, robust flavor. And if you wanted to heat this up even more, you could add more fresh chilies. You could even add a little sriracha or jalapenos. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our pan hot. Here I just have like a medium sized pan, and we'll go ahead and add in some olive oil. Also, this is another thing that's on my Amazon shopping cart. This one is super clean and brand new, so I kind of have to prime and pump this so that I can get my measurements. But this is great for having a really controlled source of olive oil and being able to drizzle it nice and easily. Again, it does take a second. So we're going to put in about 2 tablespoons, just enough to coat the bottom of that pan, and we're going to use a medium heat. All right. So we'll let that get good and warm, and I'm going to go wash my hands.
Natalie, we've got Penny cooking with us tonight.
Hi,
anyone else out there cooking? Let us know how it's going. Also, we wanted to mention that we would like to welcome any Sagewell members that have joined us tonight.
Yes.
And we're really excited about the new teaching kitchen facility that's going to be opening up in the fall at Med Center Greensboro, located right around the corner from Sagewell Fitness Center. And so we're going to be doing some classes out of there come fall time. And we're really looking forward to hopefully being able to do some in-person classes.
Yes.
And you guys will get to see Natalie at work in person and taste some of this delicious food. So be on the lookout for that coming hopefully very soon.
All right. So now that our pan is nice and hot, I'm going to go ahead and add in our chicken.
And immediately smell the flavor when it hits the pan.
Yes. I do love jerk chicken because of that flavor. in a recipe like this, with the sweetness of the fresh fruit, a little bit of heat and a little bit of spice is going to go a long way in creating that flavor profile for the dish. All right, so I'm going to get all of these in. And so in total, this chicken should cook about 12 minutes. We're obviously going to keep our eye on it during that time, but this is a really great one pan option. So once we can cook this chicken, we're going to set it aside, and then we're going to add in the pineapple and the green beans. So you're really only dirtying up one pan and a couple of utensils in the kitchen. For me, I'm big on flavor, not big on messes. Dishes are not my thing. How many other people would love super easy recipes that require actual minimal cooking and minimal dishes? I know a lot of my busy moms out there struggle with that. They want something that's going to be fresh and easy. That's something that's versatile. And they don't want to be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning all night. How's everybody doing? So while this is cooking, it's a great time to go ahead and prepare the dressing and chop your watermelon and your pineapple if you've not done so already. I took a second before class just to make sure that I had everything together and went ahead and pineapple and just cubed some watermelon. So these items we'll be using in the recipe tonight. How many of you have put watermelon on salad before? Anybody? Oh, this smells so good. I love watermelon on a salad because it gives it that really nice, bright summer flavor. Of course, we're getting into that season where they're readily abundant and available and even local. And so red fruits and red vegetables are good for our heart. And so I try to incorporate as much color and variety as possible. And adding watermelon to a salad is a great way to bump up hydration as well as get antioxidants and nutrients. And so for me, watermelon is probably one of my favorite things to put on a salad, and it goes really well with just a very simple dressing that we'll be making here soon.
Amber and Zachary have never used fruit on their salads, and they're excited to try incorporating it this way so it can be more dishes.
Yeah.
We tend to stick to the basics, right? As sides, breakfast items, maybe in smoothies.
Yeah.
But there's such a fun way to make a salad really feel like summertime.
Yes. And it goes really well with cucumbers and mint. And again, this kind of light citrusy, a little bit of honey, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of olive oil go a long way. Even things like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds go really well on a watermelon-based salad. So feel free to take what we're doing here today, recreate that in your own home and for your own family, and add things that you may enjoy or use already. So for me, I love pumpkin seeds. They go really great with watermelon. And so adding a sprinkle of those along with what we're doing tonight just adds another layer of interest and variety. So. All right, this is looking really great. We're getting there. I'm gonna turn my heat up just a touch. I do want to get a nice browning on this chicken. And so once the chicken is actually cooked, I'm going to use that browning to saute our pineapple and our green beans. Of course, you could create the chicken and the green beans and just serve those alone. But today we're really going to add in those nutrients, that interest and variety by serving this over top of the watermelon salad with the greens. So I have a platter here that I'm going to go ahead and get my greens ready. I absolutely love using these organic girls. So these are both really great options. They're washed triple times and they're ready to go. So this one is the baby spinach and arugula, and this one is the protein mix. And so it actually has the pea leaves or pea shoots, as some people would say. So it has that kind of really interesting texture, and I just found that these greens are typically some of the freshest ones that I can pick up in the grocery store, and they're ready to go. So here we've got our little pea shoots or pea leaves, and they're just nice and crisp, and the texture is phenomenal. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this salad part of our meal ready today, and just kind of put some of these, both of these greens on our big platter. And then that will be ready to go once all of our other ingredients are done. I typically look for a variety or an assortment of greens. So whether that's spinach, arugula, kale, Swiss chard, I love all of them. And I like that variety of texture when I'm preparing a salad dish or serving something over greens. Now, baby kale is probably one of my favorites. And then, of course, we can always look at that mature hardy kale, saute it, and add it to pretty much any of our dishes to add more nutrients and interest. So here we've got our assorted greens. So this is spinach, arugula, and then the baby pea shoots or baby pea leaves. And so that will be ready to go once our chicken is done. I'm gonna go ahead and add our watermelon, which we're just gonna kind of toss around on the top. I love watermelon. It's probably one of my favorite summertime fruits. Here in North Carolina, it's fairly abundant, and maybe that's why I love it so much. All right, so I've used up most all of the watermelon. I'm also going to go ahead and do a sprinkle of feta cheese while we're waiting on the chicken. This looks so good.
This salad really is so pretty with all the different colors, Nat. And another great thing for using fruit in summertime is we always talk about hydration and getting enough water and fluids when it's really hot out, especially like it is here in North Carolina. And so things like watermelon and cucumbers and things that you could typically top your salads with are going to also provide a lot of hydration, and you can get a lot of water from your fruits throughout this time of year.
Yes, I agree. And I'm always looking to incorporate as many fruits and vegetables as possible. So feel free to load it up. This would be a great option to add in those cucumbers, like Kate was saying, and just really make a robust and interesting salad. So don't be afraid to try something new or get creative. That's one of the ways that we learn, and also keeps it interesting. So our chicken is looking really, really good. It's not quite ready to flip, but we are getting super, super close. So again, this is a pretty quick and easy recipe, and you could definitely take this chicken to the grill. So that's one of my other things, is having options that are versatile. So if we wanted to put this chicken on the grill, we could definitely do so. We could also do the green beans on the grill, and we'd have a really easy, really fresh meal. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the chicken a flip. All right, who's cooking with us? Do you have any summer fruit recipes that you really love? I know one of the things that I've been looking at lately is peaches and blueberries. So I really want to make a salad and a chicken dish because of course I need a little bit of protein. I want to make a salad with peaches and blueberries. Of course, again, I like putting fruit on salads, and I love that sweet paired with the chicken and the protein and really simple white dressing. But peaches are coming into season, and blueberries are currently ready and ripe and available. I just went last weekend here locally in Dixonville and picked some fresh blueberries and blackberries, and they're mighty delicious. I'm debating on if I make a salad or if I make muffins, so we'll see.
I vote both, Natalie.
Yeah, but both?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm fine with that. Both sounds like a great option. I really love peaches, and there's that optimal point of like juicy and tender as well as not too soft. And so for me, I'm really excited for that season so that I can get them like right at that optimal point. And so even with the watermelon as well, there are some tips and secrets on picking a really fresh watermelon. And I always try to keep that in mind when I'm going to the store and looking at the watermelon options.
Don't you want the watermelon to have a little bit of yellow
Yes.
on the outside?
Yes.
And you should be able to smell it, right?
Yes. And where that actual stem goes in, there should be slightly soft. And then I also have read about different variations of the stripes.
Mm.
So wide stripes mean a watery watermelon, and little thinner stripes mean a more flavorful and sweet watermelon. So that's one of the little secrets, or one of the things that I typically look for is like thin stripes when I buy my watermelon.
That is so cool. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. All right, we're getting there. It's taking its time, but we're getting there. So I am going to pull two of these pieces of chicken out just so that we can have a little bit more chicken on the surface area of this pan. And I'll finish cooking these later. So I'm just going to pull two of these aside. You can always temp your chicken if you're curious about it being fully done. I recommend most homes have a thermometer. Whether you're grilling or cooking in a pan, it's always great, and it's always a concern as far as, is the chicken done? How do we know? Well, the temperature should be 165. That's the key. All right, so we're getting there. Because this chicken has a lot of juicy moisture and we added in that pineapple juice, there's a ton of liquid in the pan, which is creating that really nice, juicy environment for the chicken to cook in. And so we want that flavor. And we really want to create some color. So I've got the heat up pretty high, and I'm just going to kind of keep my eye on this. So what we can do while we're waiting is go ahead and make our dressing, and that's pretty simple. It's 1/4 a cup of olive oil, 1/4 a cup of orange juice, the zest of 1 lemon, and the juice of 1 lemon. and then garlic and some honey. And so we're going to mix that in a little bowl, and then we're going to use that later when it comes to dressing our salad. So in goes 1/4 cup of olive oil. I am going to open this and pour from here. And then 1/4 cup of orange juice. I'm using Florida's natural with no pulp. If you hear our friendly pet during today's cooking class, don't be alarmed. We have Salem and Sophie, they're here with us today, and they're quiet most of the time, but every now and then they get curious what we're up to, and then also they really like chicken, so can you blame them? So in goes the olive oil and the orange juice. We're also going to juice and zest have our lemon here. We'll go ahead and zest that over top of our bowl. If you're joining me live and watching, say hey. I don't always get to see the registrant list ahead of time, but I love knowing who's here with me. Do I have any of my current NatPacks customers? What about people from our affiliate gyms and studios? Say hey, let me know where you're from. All right, so I've zested 1 lemon. We're gonna go ahead and squeeze 1 lemon in. All right. So in addition to the lemon juice, we're gonna mix in 1 tablespoon of garlic and then 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm gonna go ahead and use the minced garlic. You can also use garlic powder. That works as well. Dried garlic works great as also, but the minced garlic in oil or in water creates a really nice, robust, and fresh flavor, especially when you're creating dressing. So we'll go ahead and add in our honey as well. Again, I'm gonna eyeball this because I'm pretty comfortable with what a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons might look like. Also too, there's no wrong answer. All right, so now that we have our dressing all together, we're just gonna give that a quick little stir. Our chicken is almost done. I can smell it. It's so good. We have some other lab guests joining us tonight. So if you hear some things going on in the background, it's just people coming to have dinner with us that are very interested in tonight's meal. And we're really excited to be hosting tonight with Peyton. She's actually a local business owner as well and owns Elegant Relics. So she might pop on, she might not, but she'll be joining us for dinner. We have a little small audience tonight. So not only do we have puppies, but we also have some friends. And so I'm excited to be able to share this recipe with everyone. So our chicken is looking really great. We're starting to get that nice color. And I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, then I'm gonna pull it off, set it aside, and we'll get started on our pineapple. But look at how lovely this is. I'm really excited. I love watermelon on a salad.
Oh, such a sweet comment from Zachary. He said, good food is better with good friends.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
We also had a question about checking the internal temperature. So some of our participants say they just check it over and over again because they get really nervous about cooking meat. So do you have any tips around checking the temperature and being able to feel safe that you did it correctly?
So typically what you're going to want to do is pull the chicken off, set it aside, and it should immediately reach that 165, not rising to a 165 and slowly getting there. You want it to be 165 solid. And so typically what I would do is I'd pull this off, set it aside, and then go in with my thermometer. I'm not going to temp it in a pan because that's going to give you kind of that false heat source. And so we really want to make sure the internal temperature of our chicken is at 165. So that's kind of my secret.
And generally, is it correct? I've heard you want to go in the thickest part as well.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. So that's where we're going to get that. It's going to be the slower, longer part to cook. And so that will be the last point to reach that internal temperature. So typically that's my goal. I have some really cool prongs. I think they're on the Amazon kitchen essential list. And you just, for grilling, it's great because you can check the internal temperature through these really nice, great tongs. And so there are really good tools that are super affordable that can help make sure that you're getting your food up to the right temp and that you're keeping everyone safe. We're coming up on a holiday weekend where there's going to be lots of grilling. And so those are super cool tools. Super cool tools to make cooking easier.
And I've made the mistake of purchasing like a really, really cheap one. And I feel like those are the kind of tools you want to actually get a pretty quality product.
Yeah. And I think for a fair price, you can get a really high quality thermometer. And the digital ones are obviously superior, but you have to consider batteries. And then you're always going to want to keep your thermometer clean. But don't put it in the dishwasher. Don't submerge it in water.
Make sure to sanitize it.
Wash it really good with soap. Give it a little rinse and set it aside to dry. So that's kind of the key. But for under $25, you can have a really great at-home thermometer or even the grilling tongs. And so those are kind of fun, especially when you're doing larger chunks of meat or even like shoulders, ribs, chicken bone in, because you're able to get that
temperature. Now you're speaking my husband's language.
I love all of those things too. Like let's be real, I love all the food all the time. So
and it's not just for safety too. I feel like you also get a better result
if it's cooked correctly.
Yeah. I'm really bad about cooking meat correctly and always overdoing it. So the thermometer is really helpful.
Exactly. So here I'm gonna go ahead and say that this chicken is done. We're gonna set it aside. It's got a nice color. Our sauce has reduced quite significantly, and it's almost gotten kind of a thick, lazy type of look. So this chicken is done.
It smells so good.
Oh my
y'all.
goodness, I'm so excited. The sweetness paired with the acidity and the coconut aminos are really going to give that nice flavor. So I'm just kind of scraping some of the drippings on that pan. We want to utilize those to create flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and add in my pineapple. Now is the perfect time. So I've turned the heat up just a tiny bit. So the pineapple, we want to get just a little bit of color, but it doesn't have to burn. All right. We're going to let this pineapple cook for a few minutes, not long at all, just so that it gets a little bit of that color and the flavor. And then we're going to pull it aside and set it with our chicken. And then we're going to give these green beans a good cook. We want them nice and fresh and firm, so they're not going to take long. That's the great thing about this recipe is it can be done in like under 45 minutes. And it's super fresh, very healthy. Okay, so my pan is up on high, and we're just gonna let that pineapple sit kind of undisturbed for a minute or two. I'm gonna go ahead and slice some of this chicken so it'll be ready to put on top of our salad. We're done with the zester and the juicer, so you can go ahead and put those to the sink. I'm one of those people in the kitchen that I try to clean up as I go, because the last thing I want is this big giant mess when I get ready to sit down and eat. And then I don't want to do a lot of cleanup once my belly's full. So I try to use this time while things are cooking to clean up behind myself and to prepare what's next for the dish. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this chicken so it'll be ready to go. If you're like me, you never know kind of what knives to buy. There are some that are also linked on my Amazon Essential Shopping list. A good knife makes all the difference. I am a big proponent and fan of having really good kitchen utensils. It's one of those areas where if you don't have good utensils and good equipment, you're not going to take care of them, and you're not going to use them as much. And then they're going to fail you when you go to use them or cut. Once upon a time, I had to borrow a cheese grater from my neighbor, and that was the longest block of cheese I've ever grated in my whole life. Oh boy, this looks so good. Y'all, this chicken is so tender, I almost don't even have to cut it. That is what I like to see. I hear my pineapple, it's starting to sizzle, so I'm gonna cut this one last piece of chicken, and then I'm gonna give it a little flip, and we'll go ahead and add in our green beans. All right, time to flip the pineapple. So this has a nice color on it, a little bit of browning, really good flavor. Y'all, I'm so excited. Who thinks that Kate or Peyton should try our chicken? Who thinks our live in studio audience should try the chicken?
Always. Here, give it a try. You got another fork? Okay.
Yeah, we're on the fork.
Y'all, it smells really good.
All right, you
It's
got
nice
all
and
three of
tender.
us. You got
Yeah.
all three going in favor.
Yes. Okay.
I think
Cheers.
we're all really
Yes.
hungry.
Mm-hmm. Wow. The flavor is so good.
It's-
so flavorful.
It's got a nice heat, but it's also not overpowering.
I have a hard time every time I cook chicken. I feel like it's either too juicy to the point that it's almost like a weird texture in your mouth, or it's too dry. But this is perfect. Mm-hmm. And then
My
the
little
chef.
The heat level is perfect. It's so good.
We
Just
love a
a-
little kick.
A
For sure.
light, just a light warmness goes a long way, especially with a recipe like this. So our pineapple is good and it is ready. We've got a nice color.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
I'm gonna put it over top of our chicken, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw our green beans in. Oh yeah.
Putting that one pot to the
Oh, we are using it hot for sure. So I'm gonna add back in a little bit of olive oil.
Everyone's really jealous that they're not here to taste.
Y'all should be here. So when we start cooking live at the new facility, please come join us.
We actually have some Drawbridge Med Center Greensboro at Drawbridge employees joining us. So thank you guys. And let us know what in-person classes you want to see come fall time.
Yeah. So we can definitely create some recipes that are meet your needs and kind of talk through some different or interesting options. If you have any particular requests, don't hesitate to send us a message or let us know what you would like to see next. Just added in a little bit of that extra garlic. I'm gonna add in a splashback of that pineapple juice we saved from earlier. And we'll let these cook about 3 or 4 minutes, and then everything will be pretty much ready. How's everybody doing? Who's cooking with me?
You've got a couple cooking.
Yay! So who has picky eaters at home? That's been a topic of conversation lately, is picky eaters. We have a couple of people in our live studio tonight that are raising their hands. You know, it is really hard because a lot of times we're trying to find that balance of like healthy and interesting and not boring, but also still yummy. And so I think just continuing to play with different cooking methods and different preparation styles, we can hopefully find that point of, okay, I like green beans, but I only like them if they're cooked this way. Or I like broccoli, but I don't like it steamed. I like it sauteed. And so just kind of finding and playing with different ways to cook and prepare things can always kind of lead us in the direction of trying things that we really like. All right, we're gonna let these cook for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wait until our green beans are done. Then I'm gonna layer our green beans, then I'm gonna layer our pineapple and our chicken, and our dressing's already ready to go. So once the green beans are done, it's like super simple, super fast. Just a few more minutes on our green beans. We want them to almost be still kind of crisp and crunchy because what we're really trying to do is create a little bit of flavor, but we don't want them overcooked because then they're not going to be crunchy when we add them to our salad. So of course, this is just kind of quick flash saute method. We're going to have really nice firm green beans. And so just a few minutes here and they'll be ready to go. While we're waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up. I've just got a couple of things over here that I'm gonna go ahead and put in the sink just to make cleanup easier later.
Y'all, as Natalie's wrapping up, if you've got any food or nutrition questions, go ahead and let us know so we can get those answered as she starts to plate the final product. Also, everyone will receive next week, hopefully the recording of this, if I got the technology figured out earlier, you'll get the recording sent to you as well as the survey. So you can let us know in the survey as well what you liked and what you want to see more of from us in the future.
Yes, don't forget to complete the survey. All right, our green beans are looking pretty close. Just another little stir or two, and I think they'll be ready to go. I love a really crisp, fresh green bean, especially non-canned, fresh, just snipped green beans are high quality, ton of nutrients, very hearty, and very filling. And so these look good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn our heat off. And I'm gonna plate these directly over top of our watermelon salad. We got to run away. So some nice, crisp, fresh green beans. And then we're going to layer in some pineapple. Now, this alone would make a really nice salad if you were headed out to an event or needed an item or a platter to go. You could always prepare this without the fruit as or without the protein as a fresh, healthy option. It's a great side, phenomenal flavor, but of course, adding that chicken in just makes it a little more hearty and extra filling. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer in some chicken for us. Again, we can go back with more fresh feta cheese, a little bit of cilantro, and a good drizzle of our dressing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good drizzle, and then our skulls are gonna add. All right, guys, so there's the final product. Watermelon salad with feta cheese, green beans, sauteed pineapple, and jerk chicken. Really nice, flavorful, light, easy meal to prepare, and super versatile. So feel free to enjoy, get creative, and message us if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Natalie. This looks so beautiful. We don't have any questions coming in right now. And I'm ready to sit down and dig into this with you.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll see you all next time. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Bye.